Hey, all right, welcome to the, I guess it would be 31-day challenge. This today went exactly as planned. Horrendous. I literally shattered. It's an H4 microphone. It's like a preamp for my DSLR has horrible audio, as you can probably hear. Well, you may not. That's the thing. You may not be able to tell the difference, which is kind of the point of this entire thing. Is I went so long talking to clients and telling clients, all of you out there, or if you're just colleagues and you know me, this is something I just talk about because I don't talk about anything else apparently. So it's just one of those things that, like, I cannot say it enough. I cannot be more excited about the fact that content matters. And so many people that I see or work with, or no matter how many conversations I have, I'll look at it. I'll look at the content they're producing, or they'll talk about the business problems they're having, and they're like, look, I'm not sure why my inbound is so weak, or whatever the case may be. And it's always, well, it's like, what are you putting out a day, right? And it's I post 3 times a week, and it's like, that's not enough, right? Like that's not enough at all. In 2019, where someone buys from someone they trust, every time you have an engagement, you have some reach point, some brand, some person sees your brand, that counts as your reach. But every time they have to decide, like on the spot, is this something I trust? Is this something I'm interested in? You erode that ability to keep them engaged every time they walk away and they don't have another option to consume something about you. And the way to kill that is just content, right? Like, beat it over the head, content. And this is probably one of the only times you'll ever see me looking, talking head directly into camera. And I'm doing it on purpose, because so many people are like, well, I don't have the time. Yes, you do. You have the time. How many times are you doing something through the day that you could pull something out of that activity or that exercise, and you can learn from it, right? And so many people just don't have their voice in front of a camera. And I started out with a podcast. I started making a podcast like last month, and it took me so long to record an episode, and now it's so easy, right? But when I started, it's like, I didn't like how my voice sounded, which is what everyone says, or on camera. I don't like, that's uncomfortable. Yeah, sure, but that's because you don't know who you are or what you're trying to get across. And watching yourself, it's almost like an out-of-body experience, right? So the idea, so sitting in front of this camera is a little bit foreign to me, because I'm doing so many things a day that I could learn from. And if you're watching this, probably the 2 people, and especially the one person that, no matter what I think about anything else that they do in terms of their fundamentals or just their strategy, their content place, the 1 to 2 people that I'm blown away with how they're able to produce is obviously Gary Vee and Russell Brunson, who I learned was adopting it from Gary Vee. And so, to put out on the top 5 to 7 platforms constantly, it takes a lot of work. But that's if you're not arbitraging your content. So if you go out there, I'm recording this video, I'm certainly gonna make this a blog. And if that's just for SEO purposes, that's just for SEO purposes. But it gives someone else who may not have 8 minutes to be on the go. Because this will not be a podcast, but let's say it would have been a podcast if I had my didn't shatter my H4 preamp, but like, it would have been a podcast. Or I could turn this into some mini series. I could put this as gated content. And so many of you are out there like going, oh, I don't have light boxes, and I don't have Yetis, and it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. I think the audio is probably the one thing that might start to matter. People can forgive a lot of things, but if they just can't hear you, it's hard to take value. But you don't need a 4K DSLR. You don't need light boxes. You don't need anything. A lot of studies have shown people holding their camera, talking head, holding their selfie. There's a lot to say about that. It makes them feel like they're real. It makes it feel personable. It makes it feel genuine. It makes it feel earnest, honest, and achievable at the end of the day. So there's a lot to say about quality of, but at the end of the day, more often than not, I notice that they're all mostly just excuses to say, I'm just not comfortable. And if that's the case, get comfortable. Get comfortable. I hate roller coasters. What did I do? I sat in front of the scariest roller coasters until, yeah, I don't like them still, but I understand what that feeling is, and there's nothing really to fear other than I just don't like it, but I'm not afraid of it anymore. Same with flying, same with public speaking. If you force yourself to do it, you figure out what makes you comfortable. You figure out where you're going to spend, like, if I personally don't like public speaking, to be honest with you, I really don't. And the only time I can really start to get into it is if I'm choosing to deliver whatever I'm talking about my way. If I have to do it some other way that someone else forces me inside some box, I can't do it. But the point is, you need to be arbitraging your content, that whenever you make something, it could double as something else. Anytime you sit down to write, let's say writing isn't your thing. If you sit down to record, that you don't have to write a big blog. You can write a couple paragraphs and then make that your blog, right? So you have ways to reuse things. And 30-second, get decent at video. 30 seconds of this, whatever you're about to record, that may take 9 minutes. 30 seconds could be an Instagram post. And then you could do that same thing, double up, slightly change it, change the the headlines. That could be your Instagram post. So, and some more imperfect action. I can't shut. Yes, I can. So the point is, that's I'm not going to cut any of this out. But the point is, as you think about content and what matters most, really at the end of the day, you just have to get in front of an audience and stop mailing it in. Your content, what you publish, that is something that the consumer has to be happy with. They have to choose you. They have to essentially, at the end of the day, say yes to you, give you money. If they don't know you, they're not going to be persuaded by whatever you're selling if it doesn't feel honest, if you're not in front of them on a habitual, regular cadence. And every time you mail in copy, every time you just post something to post it, they know. They can tell. And, it's about capturing the honest nature of a phone call during a video, about, a failure. I don't like just sitting here and doing this. I like adding a certain amount of value, whether it's charts, whether it's models, whether it's some insight. But I think today, especially being day one of the 31-day challenge, it's about, look, I don't have anything prepared. I don't have talking notes. I don't have a teleprompter. I'm just talking sincerely to say, look, stop caring about how perfect you sound. I'm going to put this everywhere, right? Like I'm going to put this everywhere. And it's to say, look, when you invest in me, you invest in this honesty. And when my clients come to meet me, I talk exactly like this to them. And if you're smirking right now, because it's true. This is exactly how I am. This is how I talk. This is my real office. Like this is genuine. And genuine permission marketing is about the most powerful thing you could do. So think about that as you're going, I don't know what to post. I haven't done anything in a while. Who cares? Just do that. Talk about something that you know will add value. If you took anything from today, it's to take a risk. Take a risk. Think about how often you post on Instagram. Think about how often you're on Instagram. Now do the math. If you have an audience of 100 people and you're on Instagram 3 times a day, you're on LinkedIn once a day, and you scroll for what, 5 minutes? And then how many people are in your feed? You don't have to, I could sit here and show you the model. We've done it before, but you don't have to pull a calculator out. Just think about how low are those odds, right? It's got to be under 10%, even by you're doing it in your head, the kitchen logic. It's very low that you just get seen by randomly posting. Now, think how sporadic you're probably posting. Like, think about all those multiplier effects that you're not getting seen. You have to just go do things. And I can tell you right now, challenges are so great because after a certain point, you break that habit and you overcome that fear. And then you can start achieving and accomplishing and becoming exactly what it is that makes you great once you get the fears. Like, stop letting that stop you. And once you're over that, then you can actually go and choose. Like, I don't like public speaking, but I love talking about, statistics. And that's where I really shine. And I wouldn't have known that unless on the other side of fear is the greatest things about us personally, our professional life, but I would have never known that unless I got beyond that. On the other side of that fear is real joy, is real power, is real talent, and that's where we reside. But we let these things get in the way, like fear of posting, fear of insecurity, and that's what all this is about. So, on purpose, talking head on. I would like to say I won't do this often. I probably will. Let's get honest, but I hope you join the ride in some way, shape, or form. I don't have any way to really capture that and collaborate with you. I'll figure it out. But I'm excited to start this. I'm really excited. And if it helps one person, it's worth it. And if it bores the hell out of the rest of you, then so be it. But just stick around. It'll be good. I hope. We'll see. It will be.